he feels cool. He's just cool. I love it. Here I'm going to give you a little intro to my motorbike that I have got since passing my compulsory basic training, my CBT training, which allows me up to a 125. And I've got a bike that I've called David. Let's have a look at it. So, this is David. He is, so the motorbike I've got is a MASH 70, and it's a 125 engine. There doesn't seem to be a choke on it, so it seems to be fuel injected from what I can gather going on here. He's got cool bits at the front, a nice big light up there, single disc at the front, another disc at the back, funky suspension, and he's called David. The reason for that is MASH are a French company, I think. It's very much like in the UK we've got Mutt motorcycles, which I think they're all pretty much the same, but just built in different countries. The Mutt are built in Birmingham, and they're quite strong and tough, and MASH are pretty much exactly the same, but built in France and then shipped over. So there's some minor differences between the two, I think, but generally they look the same. I think if you look at the Mutt hilts, maybe a slightly different paint job going on there, maybe slightly different leather seat, but effectively seems to be about the same thing going on here, like same suspension and handlebars and all that kind of stuff. So bought him second hand, and I've put, I bought it, he had about 1,400 kilometers, so it's in kilometers an hour, not miles an hour, so that's another interesting thing for me to have to deal with. And he's almost up to, what's he up to? Almost at 2,000 now, so 1,988 kilometers. And the speedometer goes up to 50 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. No, it's not been there. I think because I sometimes ride with my Garmin Forerunner watch on, and the highest I've got is 98 kilometers an hour, possibly on a downhill, possibly with the wind behind my back. However, that's part of the reason why this guy is called David. David. He's David, I'm Goliath. My body weight just now is around about 108, 110 kilograms of pure muscle. And this bike itself, I think, is only around about 125. So we're almost the same weight. And in terms of like horsepower, this guy, I think, is about 11 horsepower. In the UK, 125cc bikes are limited for people to use them under CBT license. It's not allowed to have more than like 14 kilowatts of power, which works out to around about 12 horsepower. I don't know, there's maths and science going on and rules and laws that nobody understands. Just buy a bike and they're usually all underneath the legal maximum limits. But yeah, let's see. He also sounds good. That's the other reason why I got this guy. He sounds really good. I always thought of like a 125 as a little kind of me scooter kind of thing. But this guy sounds great. And I think he looks great as well. Especially there's certain angles which I think it just looks fantastic. So here, I'll turn him on. Certainly when we first turn him on, in the cold, in the garage, he takes a little bit of a while to start him up. So let's just see how he is doing just now. So it's sitting on. Oh, this was another thing. This bit I bought new, so I've got a new shiny steer. Was it 3-point steering nut bolt thing? Something like that. So in, and turn it all the way around. Hear things going on. That's the fuel pump going on. The instruction gauge has got neutral, your lights. So if I turn my, nope, doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe we need to actually turn the bike on. Engine, fuel light, indicators, and lights here. So to turn it on, I think I need to pull in the clutch because I've got the foot stand down, and press the. take the clutch just in case it's a false neutral. No, it's fine. Listen to the sound. Best not do that too much while in the garage. I need to open the doors now. So I'll turn them off. This may sound strange to non-biker people, but me and David, I think we have got a good relationship. I am loving it. In here, we've got our toolkit. There's a little toolkit in there, spanners and stuff. Behind here is the air thing that goes in there. Or the fuse box. No, that's the fuse box. Yeah, there's something in there. Don't want to pull it off because don't do that. Every drive I've done with him, I've brought him back and given him a wash. Disc brakes looking good. Chain, no rust on that. I've been washing that. Even the inside of the back of the bike, all looking good. The only thing that is this. This seems to be like a heat rash or something. Don't quite know how to explain it, but I've been ACF 50, the lubricating oil. I've been using that on everything apart from the discs, obviously. But this seems to be losing a bit of its powder coating, I guess that's what that is. This was a little bit loose at the start, but just screwing that in together. I love the wrap of the exhaust. Always want to keep that clean because that's the first thing that gets dirty anytime you do an actual ride on it. There seems to be some bits that are what do you call that, fraying a little bit. I've been practicing tightening all the little bolts and covering it ACF 50 and WD 40 and then washing it down with everything. So me and David, we are buddies. We like each other. And I just think he looks cool. And he sounds good as well. Again, let's just listen to how good for a 125 this bike sounds. So for me, what was really interesting was just how difficult riding a motorbike was at the start. I thought it would be a piece of cake. I'm an adult, I've ridden bicycles, I drive a car, I understand about clutch control and all that kind of stuff. I thought, get on a 125. The CBT training is usually just like a day long, and I thought, yeah, I'll just get that done in a day and then I'll be off riding. Oh no, at 40 years old, relearning a whole new skill set here was quite challenging because on here, put your foot there, this is your back brake. So, which is fine because your right foot when you're in a car, use that to go from accelerator to brake, but it's not accelerator, that's your brake, fine. Up here on your hand, that's your accelerator, so that goes revs, and then this is your front brake. So, okay, and I think it's the same with all bikes that you get. So front brake here. So, okay, have to figure out that that's the bike, just like on a normal bicycle. Then on the other side, you've got down here a footrest, and then the gear changer. So down to go into first gear, up to go into second gear, and to go to neutral, it's just a little halfway down bump. And again, trying to get your foot to understand that, especially because you're advised to do it in boots, motorcycle boots, or in my case, hiking boots. that was a kind of a level of dexterity and feeling which I hadn't had to deal with. And then the clutch is here, and the difference between go and stop is just the smallest of me. It's just that. I'll try and show you. Flick it on, turn on, check we're in neutral, all good. Still hold down the clutch just in case it's a false neutral. Take the foot clamp off, and then the difference between go and stop is from here. No, where is it? Oh no, I'm still neutral. Okay, into gear. So there. Now we're going. Ooh, and you don't need to pull it all the way in. So it's from here. No. Yes, whoa. Just microscopic movements. So again, bring it into neutral, just a half pull up, and then I can put the thing down. So that, again, that level of hand dexterity, especially also when doing that with riding gloves on, was a whole new ball game. So trying to get that mixed with, then you also need to come off the accelerator when you're changing gears, to pull in the clutch, to pull your foot up, to then release the clutch slowly, and then for the accelerator to come back on. It was just it was like suddenly asking somebody to learn how to juggle with 4 balls. Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. Learning a motorbike in one day without ever having ridden a motorbike, ever needing to know about hand clutch and all that kind of stuff in one day is like suddenly trying to learn how to juggle 4 balls in one day. Some people can get it straight away, perfect. For me, I melted. I just completely went like, oh my god, my brain! I could feel the heat coming out of my head. That's why I'm bald, because there's just heat coming out. Don't need the hair. The heat of my brain trying to figure this out and process all that information and put it into my cerebellum to make it automated was just not happening, not in a single day. So fortunately, the guys that I did it with at Harley Davidson, Edinburgh, their CBT course is either a single day course or it's up to like 16 hours worth of lessons. So if you don't do it all in one day, you can come back another day in the future and finish off the course, which I thought was fantastic. What a great way to learn over a period of time. But also, what I found amazing was just how physically knackered I was. So literally all we're doing is in a car park, going around in circles, going up a hill, down a hill, trying to do figure of eights, trying to do U-turns. The next day, my whole body was just broken from it. And that is just because when you're riding, you're just so tense. Everything's just like squeezed together. And that kind of anxiety of it was astonishing. Never thought I'd experience that level of fatigue from just sitting on a motorbike. But yeah, it was, and I had my heart rate monitor on while I was doing it. My heart rate was going at 135 beats a minute, while literally just on the bike, slowly clutch controlling it up a hill. Just the heart rate was racing, so I was absolutely fatigued from the CBT course and that. But then, once you got the course, the second day, went out on the road, around the roundabouts. I felt more comfortable then. Got up to more of a speed, got the gear changes going smooth. It wasn't on this bike, actually. It was on the bike that they have at their training course, which is a bike called a Zontes, which is a very good learner bike. Luke's the business as well, but a completely different style of bike compared to this. This is more a retro bike, which is what I liked. Probably a bit. This bike is lower seat, not too high going on there. Yeah, so the training course, the CBT course, was really good. So good, in fact, that I just think it's something which every driver should do at some point. The amount of kind of learning and relearning and getting used to bits of the road, which as a driver of 20 years now, it's so automated that you don't think about it. One of the parts of the course, you go back into the school or into the Harley Davidson shop, and he goes, right, okay, at a traffic light, when you're going left, which lane do you go in? You're like, yeah, left lane. When you're going right, go in the right lane. What if you're going 3/4 of the right? And it's just like, I don't know. Wait, let me in a car and I'll show you. I know what I do, I just can't bring it out of my head. So it was interesting having to bring stuff out of my cerebellum into my cerebrum. I think that's the right words. Cerebral cortex. To remember it in real life, which isn't automated, and then at the same time squeezing the knowledge or the new learning from a motorbike into my brain at the same time. It's just a mess. So if you can do it in one day, well done. You've probably had experience. If you've got a friend that's got a motorbike and that can take you out, you just have like a couple of hours just figuring out clutch control, then you'll be able to smash it out in one day, no problem. But yeah, and then after that, I got this guy, and he's great. It's just been fun. It's just really fun. Driving him around Edinburgh has been interesting. So one bit I found out, you need to regularly keep a note of your exhaust screws, also just how hot the exhaust gets, like even just from that little, oh, that is nice and warm. Riding in the freezing cold, if you wear your gloves and you touch the actual engine, your gloves melt. So there was a learning experience of that as well. And yeah, just everything else has been such a fun, interesting learning experience. And just like having to learn what all these bits are and what they do and where they go and what you can oil and how you oil it and how you put certain lubricants and degreasers and how this is actually the horn up here. It's just been a fun thing to get into. So yeah, so it's a MASH 70 and it's a 125 engine. They do also come in like a 250, but in the UK to get a 250, that'll take us up from 10 horsepower up to maybe like 20 horsepower. You need to have a full big bike license. When you get a full big bike license, everyone just goes and gets a big bike, so like a 600 or 700 or something big. Or if you're not wanting, you can get like a Honda CMX 500 Rebel. That's the kind of next bike which I'm quite. I didn't say that, David. David, you're my precious one. I've been told you never offend your bike. Always going to be your best friends with your bike, and definitely am with this guy. He's done good. So the whole point of me and David having our fun together, me and David and Goliath having our fun together is a learning experience, because going straight, going along the motorway, piece of cake. Nobody struggles with that. It's the slow maneuver stuff which you need to kind of train for. And getting used to figure of eights, the balance, the clutch control, especially with gloves on. The U-turns as well, not putting your foot down. If you put your foot down during a U-turn, that's you're not getting your license there. And then out on the road. So the UK license from here is you go from a CBT to a license if you do your full course, if you're over 24 or something like that. There's a whole pile of rules. The full course is, I've also done my theory. So I've done my theory, 50 out of 50. Nice, well done me. The full course is a kind of in a car park part where you do your slow maneuvers and your high speed avoidance and emergency stops and all that kind of stuff. And then I think a week later, certainly if I do it with Harley Davidson again, they book in like a week or two later the second part, which is out on the road, to observe you actually riding on the road, and your observations, your mirrors, your shoulder checks, and all that kind of stuff. So this guy's to help me just get used to that maneuvers stuff, and we're getting pretty good at it, I think. And then, once I've got my full A licence, 1, my insurance drops. 2, I can take off the L plates. 3, I can take a passenger. I don't think this bike can take a passenger though. So no, there is space here. Maybe I can put a little child on the back. However, that's not allowed with my family. But this guy just doesn't, he feels cool. He's just cool. I love it. Like the big chunky tires, the big everything, just like I think I'm going to be a motorcyclist that more washes their bike than rides their bike. I haven't ridden him in the rain, maybe a damp road I've done some riding on, but not in the rain. I don't want to get him wet. Even washing him, I'm like, it needs to be with a soft sponge. I've got in my cleaning bag, I've got separate towels. I've got a dirty towel and a clean towel, and one's a special gentle towel for doing all that kind of stuff. Filling up the tank was hilarious because you're only allowed to put in E5, which is super unleaded, so it's like a sports car. And I was like, oh my goodness, filled up the whole tank, not to the top because I hear you've got to leave a little bit for an air area. £10, and it did about 200 miles with that. It's something like 100 miles per gallon of fuel. It obviously just sips the smallest amount of fuel and just does something in there. Don't know how it works, but it is absolute magic. So yeah, it's one of those ones where, because my insurance will be so low, the road tax is like £1 a year, so it's absolutely tiny, that there's no reason to get rid of him, apart from money. So if I am upgrading to a Harley Davidson, I won't, David, don't worry, you're with me. But if I were to upgrade to a Harley Davidson in the full midlife crisis mode, selling this guy for $2,500 as a deposit for the next bike might be the plan. Don't tell him though, he's still my baby. And yeah, but yeah, if I don't need the cash, so if my crypto goes back up to the roof, very quickly I'm going to go from a guy that's never ridden a motorbike to suddenly having 2 motorbikes in the garage. One for just commuting down to the shops, and another one for the weekend warrior of making lots of noise and annoying everyone. I can't wait for it. The only other thing was getting a helmet was a little bit of a challenge this year, partly because what was the reason for the difficulty in the helmets? The delivery people. Hold on, I'll just get you in a position. There you go. Trying to get them delivered was an absolute nightmare. So bought one off Amazon, and it just never arrived. And no fault of Amazon, no fault of the helmet company. Just the delivery people just all went on strike and it never turned up. Then the second helmet I got a free one from work, which was quite handy. And then I got this one because again, when I did the CBT, part of the CBT training is about the importance of a certain category that your helmet has to be in. This has to be a 0.5 category in the UK, which means it passes certain safety limits and all that stuff. And the ones inside the Harley shop were expensive, so they were looking at like £200 for the cheapest, then £350. I was like, oh right, this is an expensive hobby. Went to our shop, saw ones for £100. I was like, oh, that's a bit more reasonable. Found one on Amazon for like £60, £70. I was like, okay, you can get it with this. Then I found this one, which is the full face covering. So you've got this bit that goes up, but the cool bit, which I love, is this bit. Yeah. Just so cool. Also, learning how to breathe without steaming up both my glasses and the helmet is a thing I'm learning at the moment. I've heard about putting dandruff shampoo all over the screen to stop it steaming up. I think just don't breathe is a better idea. Definitely don't cough. I did that in my other helmet, like right along, and it was freezing cold. It's only like winter time just now, and I coughed. Instant blindness. Just like, oh, can't see anything. But this one was £50. And I thought that was pretty cool. So it's obviously flimsy, but it passes all the safety regs. So why not? I'm not going to be going 100 million miles an hour on that. 100 kilometers an hour, but not a million. And so I just thought, just get the basic. And that one I thought was pretty cool. And the black visor is actually quite good because it stops any reflections coming in. And it was great. And it was actually discounted down to about £35. If I can find it, I'll put the link to it on the descriptions down below. But yeah, there you go. So that is my first experience being a motorbike rider and enthusiast. And it's very quickly gone from, oh yeah, motorbikes are cool, to I want a motorbike, to I love motorbikes, to I'm only watching anything online is about motorbikes and exhausts and helmets and and how to tune your bikes and all that kind of stuff. I've just gone like 100% fully into it. So more likely I'm going to sell my road bike, road bicycle, to just get more parts for the motorbike. I love it, love it. It's really cool. Wife knows about it, the kids know about it, the grandparents know about it, and they're all like, yeah, cool, fine. You've got your things that you need to do, go do it. Just don't be an idiot, get safety stuff. The only thing I don't have is safety trousers or safety jacket. I'm just using my like normal raincoat and rain trousers and jeans. So there's still a bit of investing that's needed to get all that kind of stuff. But otherwise, yeah, this guy is my happy place. Aren't you, David? Yes. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Right, there you go, bye-bye.